Thanks for coming out, gang. It is a bit of a crowded house up here, but I suppose why don't we just jump into it? So, could you tell us a bit about what you're doing?
All right, yeah, thank you, Cadell, and thank you, Domopalooza. I really appreciate the opportunity to be up here to share a little sneak peek into a very powerful app that we built using the Domo App Studio for ESPN. ESPN, they have a very large and sophisticated contact center. There's not much an agent can do if you forgot to set your fantasy football lineup, but it doesn't stop people from reaching out, right? Fans might have issues with the ESPN Plus app or a broadcast or any number of issues with the wide variety of content ESPN produces every day. ESPN is constantly reviewing customer survey data after contacts are made, trying to determine who the underperforming agents are and who the overperforming agents are, right? So they're trying to find these rock stars. So it's really important for ESPN to figure out who needs training and who are the leaders, right? Because they can learn from these leaders and apply it to those folks who do need the training. So historically, they would mainly rely on the star ratings customers would give after a contact was made, which is fine, but a lot of information was being left on the table. And it turns out that information is it's extremely valuable. So we built this app to harvest that information that was just sitting in these data tables. Aside from a few anecdotal use cases here and there, it was just sitting there. And so we found this treasure trove of value sitting in the comments that people actually leave in the surveys in addition to the star ratings. Sometimes these can even conflict with the star ratings that were left. So we could actually get a 5-star rating and a little bit of a lackluster review. So how do you actually reconcile that? And how do you analyze all of this at scale? So let's take a look at the app. So you'll see when we get into this, you'll see some things that should look very familiar. Some of the features that were discussed yesterday during general session. You'll see the use of tabs for navigation. You'll see a custom color palette. We included here a little bit of an overview screen to help business users understand some of the things that we're trying to accomplish in here. So when a business user comes in, they get a sense of what we're doing. As we navigate through this, we'll find that we're actually able to find 28 distinct emotions coming through in the text associated with the surveys. So it's kind of fascinating. These are contact center response agent surveys. So we're able to see these. We're using a large language model that we've customized specifically for ESPN, and this large language model is fully deployed within Domo. And so we're able to then take that, we separate the text into different sentences, and we start to analyze things at the sentence level, and we're looking for the emotional depth of each sentence. And we're able to see, like, how are these separating emotionally, this emotional journey through the text. We're scoring it based on this combination of the emotions and how consistent that emotion is through the text and how much emotion is actually changing through these comments. And we're able to get a much better performance of our contact center agents. And so you could see in the video there, you could notice that we have the code sitting inside the app right there. So it's very transparent. Everyone can see this is done, the Jupyter and Python. It's very transparent. In the example that we just showed, we had two, it's hard to see all the details in the text. We had two actual star rating reviews from comments left. And so both are 5 stars. The first example, the comment was, hey, that fixed my problem. Thank you. So that's good. We want that. We want them to be satisfied. But in the other comment, there was 5 stars. We learned that this person was going through a very difficult time. So they were having trouble logging into ESPN, they were having trouble with their passwords, and having a very directly ESPN-related issue. But also their house had burned down, and they were going through a very serious personal situation. And the call center, the contact center agent actually responded not to just their ESPN issues, but this agent, Andrew, took time to literally be there for them, talk them through it, and help reduce their anxiety. And the person reaching out felt a ton of appreciation for this contact center agent. So we can see, this Andrew in our contact center is showing signs of being one of these rock stars. We want to make sure that we can see that. And even better than that, finding just one Andrew, we have lots of Andrews. And we're able to find a lot more of them now. And Doug, maybe you could shed a little light as to why that's so important.
You've used up all my words. There's really nothing more I need to say. It's a phenomenal experience. And if you think about it, our goal is to create the best fan-to-fan dialogue when we speak with them. And the opportunity to utilize emotion is something that, as you pointed out, is a huge differentiator. And as we all know, and we're going to talk about this in our session coming up this afternoon, Metrics to Magic, a fan-centric revolution. You know, we all think about what Maya Angelou said. Nobody remembers what you said or what you did, but they will always remember how they made you feel. And so we are trying to harness that and create logical, repeatable models for new hires. They come aboard. It's an incredibly daunting job to be able to service all the products that we service, but get them moving faster and creating a better experience with the fan. And we're keeping that experience one where the agents are not churning, they're staying longer, they're happier, the fans are happier, and in the end, it saves so much money. So since we've launched this, we found an incredible benefit to the contact center.
Awesome. Thanks, Doug. Definitely recommend checking out Metrics to Magic this afternoon with Doug and Patrick from RXA OneMagnify.
So, I mean, that's an incredible example. I absolutely love that anecdote, and I can see how impactful that would be for your end customers. Absolutely. Now, obviously, AI is somewhat new to many people that might be here today, and there's a lot of unknowns around it. I wonder if perhaps you could talk about how you're keeping ESPN and Disney secure, safe, keeping their data private when using these models.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a great question. Certainly ESPN and Disney is very concerned about data security, data privacy, especially with their customer support data. And while we are using an open source model from Hugging Face, a BERT architecture transformer model, which Patrick will talk a little more in detail about in the session this afternoon, that model lives within ESPN's instance. So we're leveraging Domo's model management layer in order for us to host an optimized model that allows for us to do advanced NLP, emotional analysis, sentiment progression over vast amounts of data so that we can get at those nuggets that Jason was talking about. And that's all within the Domo ecosystem. It's secure, contained, and all the data stays within. And the last thing is we, of course, delivered all of this through this pretty cool and interactive app that we built using App Studio.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that. I absolutely love the way you've all been able to collaborate on such a cool project. I appreciate you obviously being out here today, and thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
All right.